It's been an exciting past week for Kamala Harris. Last Sunday, Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race and endorsed his vice president. In the ensuing days, she quickly locked up the Democratic nomination as every potential rival endorsed her. And while it's early yet, there's now enough polling data to indicate that it's a brand new race, with Democrats obtaining some badly needed momentum and perhaps some new avenues for victory. When Biden dropped out on July 21st, he was trailing Donald Trump by 3.2% in the FiveThirtyEight polling averages and by 3.1% in the RealClearPolitics averages. FiveThirtyEight hasn't posted averages with Harris, but RCP has her trailing Trump by 1.7%, and that's with two outlierish polls from Rasmussen and Forbes Harris X giving Trump big leads 7% and 6%, respectively. When non-major party candidates are included, Trump's lead at RCP is at 1.8%. Perhaps more significant are the trend lines in major polls taken before and after the Biden-Harris switch. On July 17th, the Morning Consult tracking poll had Trump leading Biden by 4 points, 46% to 42%. On July 24th, the same poll had Harris leading Trump by a point, 46% to 45%. On July 16th, Reuters Ipsos showed Trump ahead of Biden by 2 points, 43% to 41%. On July 23rd, the same poll gave Harris a 2-point lead, 44% to 42%. On July 2nd, the New York Times Siena showed Trump leading Biden by 6 points, 49% to 43%. On July 24th, that pollster showed Trump leading Harris by 1.48% to 47%. Similarly, on July 2nd the Wall Street Journal had Trump leading Biden by 6 points, 48 to 42%, and Harris by just 2 points, 49 to 47% on July 25th. Both Times Siena and Wall Street Journal showed Harris ahead by a point when non-major party candidates were included. The only counter-indicator to those polls was NPR Marist, in which Biden led by 2 points, 50% to 48% on July 11th, while Trump led by 1.46% to 45% in a one-day July 22nd survey. All of these polls show a close national race. Battleground state data has been slower to arrive, but what we have shows Harris improving on Biden's performance. A battery of Emerson, The Hill polls taken from July 22nd to July 23rd of 5 battleground states showed Wisconsin tied at 47% and Trump leading Harris by 5 points, 49% to 44% in Arizona, 2 points, 48% to 46% in Georgia, 1.46% to 45% in Michigan, and 2 points, 48% to 46% in Pennsylvania. What's more significant are the trend lines since the last polls from Emerson in mid-July, testing Biden against Trump. Fox News released surveys showing the Trump-Harris race tied as of July 24th in Michigan at 49% and Pennsylvania at 49%, and Trump leading by a single point, 50 to 49% in Wisconsin. A separate poll of Georgia from Landmark Communications also showed a close race there with Trump leading Harris by 1.48% to 47%. A new poll of Pennsylvania from NSOR American Greatness showed Trump up by 2 points in that state, 47% to 45%. And a poll of Michigan including non-major party candidates from Detroit News/WDIV gave Harris a 1-point lead, 42 to 41%. There is growing evidence that as Democrats had hoped, Harris is doing significantly better than Biden among the young, black, and Latino voting categories on which the Biden-Harris 2020 win depended. In the new Times Siena poll, she leads Trump among under 30 likely voters by 59% to 38%, among black likely voters by 72% to 19%, and among Latino likely voters by 60% to 36%. A new Axios Generation Lab poll of 18 to 34-year-old voters showed Harris expanding a 6-point Biden lead, 53% to 47% to 20 points, 60% to 40%. All these trends could help Harris put Sun Belt states, particularly Georgia, back into play after Trump has held big leads for months. Aside from horse race polling, Harris appears to be becoming more popular now that she has emerged from Biden's shadow. An ABC Ipsos survey from July 26 to 27 gave her a +1 favorability ratio, 43% favorable, 42% unfavorable, up from a -11 ratio, 35% favorable, 46% unfavorable just a week earlier. In general, there's a sense of momentum for Harris that may not last, but it has lifted Democratic spirits, and perhaps even re-engaged an electorate unhappy with a Biden-Trump rematch. The New Times Siena poll showed the number of double haters declining by more than half. It would be wise to stay very tuned for this contest.